Good morning, beloveds. There's no such thing as social or physical distancing with cats. This is Sugar. I don't know how long she's going to put up with this. And honestly, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to do this because she thinks she's a parrot. She really likes sitting on my shoulders and Tom's shoulders, and Tom's shoulders are a little broader, so he can carry her around a little bit better than I can. And she's purring right now, so... but I figure in a minute she's going to get bored and wander off, which is what cats do. So, especially when I pick up the book and I'm not scritching her anymore. But, you know, it's morning and she's a little clingy today. I'm not sure why. Some days she wants nothing to do with me, and then some days she's like, in my face. And today is in my face day. And then probably when I come home from work, she's going to be like, no, I don't know who you are. It's the joy of, I would say pet ownership, but really, honestly, we don't own them. They own us. We go to work and so that we can pay the mortgage for the house they live in. But what they give back is it makes it so worth it. You going to get down? No? Okay. So it is now June. We are, I don't even, I don't know what I was about to say there. I think I was gonna say we're like 3 months into this experience, but it keeps changing, and we don't know. And I went to meet with my trainer today. He's working out of his garage, and the guy who works out, there's a guy who goes to the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning. So we stood while he was finishing up his workout because I was a little early. We sat and we talked about, and then he stood there and talked while I did 100 body squats. We talked about what fair's going to look like this year, and we don't know. The guys, the GMs already making plans to, this is how we're going to do it, this is how we're going to keep safe, and it doesn't open until October. So he's making plans, and everybody's freaking out, going, oh no, but plans will change. The good news is that as human beings, we can be very, very adaptable. It's how we've managed to spread into places that you wouldn't think we'd be able to live in. And because we're adaptable. And that is what we are doing now with this virus situation, is we are adapting. And hopefully we are also adapting in the situation of learning how to live together, learning how to be at peace with one another, learning how to dismantle a system that is very unfair, and balancing it out to make it more fair. We are adaptable. So we will move on and continue to adapt, and I have faith that we will figure it out. Because if I didn't have that faith, that in the core of each and every being is spirit, then I couldn't do this. All right. So June is the month of creativity. And he always starts it out with a number of different quotes. And then we'll get into June 1st. We are chemists in the laboratory of the infinite. What then shall we create? And that is Ernest Holmes. We must say that all thought is creative according to the nature, impulse, or conviction behind the thought. Thought creates a mold in the subjective in which the idea is accepted and poured and sets power into motion in accordance with thought. Ernest Holmes. One principle must make the universe a single complex. Okay, I'm going to try this again. It's a Greek philosopher, so forgive me. One principle must make the universe a single complex living creature, one from all. That's Plotinus. To fall into a habit is to begin to cease to be. Miguel de Unamuno. I'm gonna have to look him up. And then St. Augustine has, that alone is truly real, which abides unchanged. Okay, I admit St. Augustine's a bit weird. So we will go from there. All right. Oh. This is new. There's a title, but there's no Bible quote. Oh, okay. This is not the first time he's done. Oh, no. Okay. Huh. That's interesting. Because in March, he did the Bible quote, or the quote, and they're mostly Bible quotes, but he did it mostly at the end. He would do it at the end, and then in April, he started with him, and in May, he started with him, and in June, there isn't one. So, well, that's a little easier on my eyes, because now I don't... the telling me which quote it was really tiny. Okay. Hang on one second. I'm going to clean my glasses. Oh, yeah. This is why I can't see. And I know I look like a different person without the glasses on. Okay. All right. Now, June 1st. My word does accomplish. Since thought is a definite, dynamic, creative, consciously directed, and intelligent energy, I know that a thought of truth will definitely neutralize a negative argument. I am on guard to protect my own word by knowing that it is the activity of spirit through me, and as such cannot be denied. In effective prayer, I realize that a power greater than myself consciously acts with creative intelligence upon my word. In this way, I free myself from a sense of personal responsibility, while at the same time, I'm remaining aware that even spiritual laws must be definitely used if they are to provide tangible results in my experience. I seek to believe with absolute conviction that my word will not return unto me void, and I do this when I realize that spiritual laws execute themselves, just as do other laws of nature. I know that my word penetrates every unbelief in my mind, casts out all fear, removes all doubt, clears away every obstacle, and permits that which is enduring, perfect, and true to be perceived by my mind. I provide faith, acceptance, and a joyous expectancy that all statements I make in my affirmative prayers and treatments are not only true, but that they are carried out as I have spoken. As my word is done with this sense of reliance upon the law of good, I know that my word will not return unto me void, but shall accomplish that whereunto it is sent. Okay, so I'm going to go back to that first quote that I read. I know this is backwards for you, but I'm going to show you anyway. So when he starts a new month, he does, so it's June, and this is the theme for the month is creativity. And then he gives us a list of quotes, which is what I first read. And the very first quote he says is, "We are chemists in the laboratory of the infinite. What then shall we create?" And that's a quote by Ernest Holmes. So that's exactly what he's talking about today, is he's talking about that laboratory. There's a reason why we're called religious scientists. When Ernest Holmes sat down and said, hey, if you read this, Jesus had a very specific way of praying. Well, let's try this out. And Ernest basically used the scientific method. He said, okay, well, these are the steps that Jesus used. Let me try this out. And as he tried it out, he kept getting results. He got evidence. And he said, okay, this is working. So it sounds weird to call ourselves religious scientists because we are literally experimenting with religion. We are experimenting with spirituality, and we are proving to ourselves that our word is powerful. I think so. Science of mind, religious scientists. When you tell people you're a religious scientist, they kind of look at you a little. What? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because we try this stuff out. We literally experiment with it in the lab of our life. Okay, so June, creativity. Rita, come here. She's batting at the book today. Since thought is a definite, dynamic, creative, consciously directed, and intelligent energy. Now, if you want to create something with your word, with your thought, that's what it needs to be. Definite, dynamic, creative, consciously directed. Which lets us off the hook a little bit for those little flittering thoughts that flit through our mind and we're like, wait, what? All of your words have power, but the amount of power has to do with the amount of consciousness that you direct to them. When you are being unconscious, you can still direct them, especially if there's a lot of emotion behind that unconsciousness. But if you want to create something, then you want to consciously put that emotional power behind it. So I know that a thought of truth will definitely neutralize a negative argument. So, and when he uses the thought of truth, he's using the big T. So we go back to the principles. So if you are arguing against yourself, then go back to the principle. Whatever principle it is that you are arguing against yourself about, Rita, come on, don't show them your best side. She's being bad today, I'm sorry. Well, not bad, she's just being a cat. She is working unto her nature. I am on guard to protect my own word by knowing that it is an activity of spirit through me and as such cannot be denied. So he's telling you, watch your thoughts. Watch your thoughts. Whatever you put a whole lot of emotion behind, whatever you are consciously or unconsciously focusing on, that is what you're going to get. So that is both a freedom and really terrifying. When we unconsciously get really negative, then we can manifest stuff we would not prefer. So the guard against that is to be conscious of where your power is going, where your energy is going, where your focus is going. In effective prayer, I realize that a power greater than myself consciously acts with creative intelligence upon my word. So I realize that a power greater than myself. God can only do for you what God can do through you. Spirit can only do for you what Spirit can do through you. In this way, I free myself from a sense of personal responsibility. You don't have to have the power. The power is going to come through you. And that power is coming from an inexhaustible source. So you don't have to worry that you're tired. Because the source that is going to work through you can never be tired. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. It merely changes form. While at the same time remaining aware that even spiritual laws must be definitely used. So if you're going to use this law, you need to be aware that you're using it. Be conscious of it. Choose your words. Choose your thoughts. Choose your feelings. Choose what you want to create. Not the how, the what. That's where we get a little twisted up, is we get all focused on this is how it has to be. That's not our job. Our job is to say this is what I want. We have to give the law parameters. but not necessarily definite articles, because sometimes the spirit will manifest in ways that we weren't expecting, and if we give it, if we narrow our parameters too much, we're not going to get what we ask for, because we may have narrowed ourselves out of the field. So, okay. I seek to believe that with absolute conviction that my word will not return unto me void. And I do this when I realize that spiritual laws execute themselves just as do the laws of nature. Go back and look at our principles, the 10 principles. They're natural laws. They are things that, because that's where it came from. It's like, oh, okay, well, this is the way it works. And it does this every time. It's a repeatable experiment. Again, going back to the religious science. The way we pray is a repeatable experiment. I know that my word penetrates every unbelief in my mind, casts out all fear, removes all doubt, clears away every obstacle, and permits that which is enduring, perfect, and true to be perceived by my mind. Sometimes what we're praying for is right in front of us and we just haven't seen it yet. And so when we pray or when we treat, we are letting go of the fear and the doubt and all of that so that we can open up what is it? The scales fell from my eyes and I see truly before me. I'm pretty sure that's Paul. I'm not the biblical scholar that some of my teachers are. I'll get there eventually. I provide faith, acceptance, and a joyous expectancy that all the statements I make in my affirmative prayers and treatments are not only true, but they will be carried out as I have spoken. So he says it right there. I provide faith, acceptance, and a joyous expectancy. I have to power it. The power doesn't come through me. The power that I use doesn't come through me. But I have to provide that faith, acceptance, and the joyous expectancy. Why else should it work? If I don't really want it, so this is my part of the equation, I guess I'll use the word, is to provide the faith, acceptance, and joyous expectancy. As my word is done with this sense of reliance upon the law of good, I know that my word will not return unto me void, but shall be accomplished whereunto it is sent. So, as my word is done with this sense of reliance upon the law of good. Okay, so it looks like June is going to be interesting. The further we get into this, I'll have more of an idea of where he's going with this. But I think that this June is going to be the month of being in the laboratory of the divine. We are going to experiment in the laboratory of the divine. Okay, I'm going to move on with my day and get going. I'm not sure what today's going to look like because it's a good cloud cover out there. We had a little bit of rain last night. And so we could have pop-up thunderstorms today. It might be fun. You never know. Hopefully it won't be anything like last week where the wind and the thunder. But it could be. It's all good. So do something loving for yourself. Do something kind for yourself. Do something compassionate for yourself today. Get some movement in. Get your groove on. Know that we love you. Know that we're with you. Know that we are finding new and creative ways to be with you. David will be on later today, sometime around 5. I honestly have no idea. And I'll be back at 9 a.m. tomorrow. And we do have a special Facebook Live coming to you this Wednesday at 7 a.m. Maggie and Charlie are going to be on. And so definitely keep an eye out for that. They are going to talk about spiritual healing from traumatic events. And I think it's very timely right now. So we're working out the details on that. So I hope to see you on Wednesday there, but I will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Have a fantastic day, beloveds. Do what you need to do to get your groove on.